Hello teacups, what's brewing? You are super close again. I've got the makeup putting on wig and once again this is my face. We're doing a little bit of makeup right now because I've got Chantel's Get Ready With Me exporting right now, and I have to get my face made up anyway, and I've been meaning to do a little update video, so I figured I'd do this now. You're probably going to see the react before you see this video though, because this isn't particularly time sensitive, but if you recognize the look, this is where it came from. I've just realized I forgot to turn the AC on because it's getting a bit warm in this room. Give me a second. Forgive the noise, but it's still quite warm here. It is cooling down a little bit, but it's still fairly warm. I'm just trying to finish this. I could throw it away now, but I'm cheap like that. I'm just trying to finish it. So I'm just gonna put some primer on. So I was going to do just a little update because I got very excited the other day because I actually booked a trip to Dubai. If you follow my Twitter, I did announce it on there. I was quite excited about it. It's been a long time since I've just traveled for pleasure. I know that sounds ridiculous to say when I'm in Saudi Arabia. I'm in Saudi Arabia and I spent 7 months at home, but that was because I got caught in a lockdown. I feel like it doesn't quite count. And yes, it was lovely to go home and visit family, but that's not really the same as just traveling because you want to go somewhere. So it's just really awesome to be able to do that, you know? I've got all my fingers and toes crossed because if anything happens with the Rona, I'm just like, oh no. So right now, the number of cases being reported in Saudi are really low, which has been fantastic. We're currently sitting at under 50 a day. I want to say it was about 35 last I checked. We do get daily reports. It's been varying between like 35 and 50, and it's been that way for, I want to say, about a week or so now. In the middle of the week, we did have a couple of days where it went over 50 and then it dipped again. Yeah, so that was really great. I was really excited. But what that's meant is that yesterday they announced that they were easing restrictions. And that's worrying me a little bit because we're doing so well. I'm just like, well, wait slightly longer and just wait until we get a 0 day. Come on, wait a little bit longer. We've come this far. But they did announce a whole host of restrictions right before that to hopefully try and contain any issues once social distancing has been eased somewhat. Now, I was panicking that it was just a complete blanket lifting. That's what it sounded like in the breaking news notification because it didn't give us any information then. And I was like, what? But actually all it means is they're saying now we don't have to wear masks out of doors. Because right now you have to wear masks everywhere. Like the rules on compound are a little bit different, but you have to wear masks everywhere at the moment. But they're saying you still have to wear them indoors. But the biggest change they're making is they're saying that public places like restaurants and cinemas and things can now seat their full capacity, and the same with like public transport and stuff. You can now be seated to full capacity without needing to have social distancing rules. And that would be a little bit more concerning, but to go into any of these places, you still have to show your app to say that you're fully vaxxed. So 2 vaccinations is still a requirement if you want to do any of these things. And last week they actually brought in new rules to say you can't use public transport and you can't get on a school bus or anything unless you've had 2 vaccinations, like both doses. So in some ways they got stricter, but now we're looking at this, I can see they did it because they were planning on easing up some other things, particularly easing up the amount of people allowed in a space. So that's a little bit, God, this annoys me. I'm not gonna lay it down for just doing my makeup, but it annoys me. So that was a little bit alarming to me because I don't know what it's gonna mean. We are going back to physical teaching. We've been doing it online. For a while we were doing it virtually from school, and now we're going back into physical learning on the 31st of October. And the level of kids I teach, they can't get vaccinated yet. It hasn't been approved for their age. So, I mean, it would have been impossible really to enforce social distancing in the school system, but it just, has me a little bit worried. I don't know why I just put that away. I hadn't finished. I've been fully vaccinated. All the teachers have been fully vaccinated. We'll have to see. But the reason I'm saying this is because my trip to Dubai. So I booked it and I was like, but we've got really low cases. I'm booking it and I'm going at the end of November because we have a break then. And we have 2 breaks. We have one kind of end of November and one first week of January, because those are the breaks that are mandated by the Ministry of Education. They decide when holidays are. And so I was like, well, if I wait and then there's travel over like the Christmas period of people going to Dubai, I don't know what their state in COVID is going to be like. I'm sure they would have to do a lot of stuff in order for them to close their borders right now, because they're doing the expo, which is why I want to go. I've only got those 2 opportunities. I've got November or I've got January. And if I wait till January and there's a spike in cases, Dubai probably won't close because the expo is such a big deal, but Saudi might say you can't go to Dubai. And so I was like, do it sooner rather than later. And I was feeling quite secure about it. And now I'm just like, oh, we're just saying bye-bye to some of those restrictions. All right, we'll see how that goes, because it's very natural that when you do this, you're going to see a little bit of a bump in cases while that transition happens. And we won't really see that probably until like 2nd, 3rd week of November, because the kids don't really go back to the beginning. So if stuff starts to get real, it's going to be right around the time I want to travel. I'm just like, oh no. Hopefully not, fingers crossed, because I would really love to go. That was why I decided to go to Dubai right now, because the expo that was supposed to happen in 2020 is now open. It's running from October to March. So literally these 2 holidays are the only chances I have. I'm just going to try and do my eyebrows. Give me a second. Those could be better, but I think we're just going to leave it there. Again, I'm not going to do my blush because I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing. I think I'm just going to stick a multichrome on because it tends to be quite simple. Actually, I should probably put a tiny bit of a base on first, shouldn't I? So I had a credit with an airline because I was going to do my quarantine coming back from Britain, and then they were like, oh no, you don't need to quarantine to come back from Britain, and I couldn't get a refund on the flight. So they ended up giving me a credit, but one of the places the airline goes is to Dubai. So I was like, oh, well, I've been meaning to go. I'll save it for them. It's not such a big deal. And so I used it. So the whole flight and everything got booked out, and it was essentially free for me, even though I technically prepaid it, which was kind of awesome because it means it's a decent price. It would have been quite an expensive holiday otherwise. I am going for the full week. I've booked like an apartment hotel. I went onto Airbnb. And I had the same when I went for surgery in Thailand a few years back. They had the same where the surgery group was based in the bottom level of the hotel, but then the hotel had these full apartments inside. So you get the convenience of having like a concierge and a front desk and everything, but you get a full apartment inside the room. So that should be really good because it just means I don't have to eat out for every meal. I'm probably going to eat out for a lot of them because I want to try the local stuff. But when I just want to make like a coffee and grab a little bit of breakfast, I don't have to be bothered with finding a place. You know, I can just do that easily enough, which is nice. But the great thing about this hotel is it's literally a couple of minutes from the, what stop is it called? It's on the Red Line Metro. Mushrek, maybe? I can't remember exactly the name of the stop, but something like that. So I could have stayed a little bit further up the Red Line. In the downtown area. You tend to pay a little bit more for hotels there because location, and that's where a lot of the more traditional tourist sites are, like without the expo. So you've got all the downtown area, you've got Burj Khalifa, you've got everything along that kind of red line. It's been really well designed in terms to be reachable. The historical area with the creek is up there as well. So I didn't want to be super far away from that, but I still wanted to have the choice of getting down to the expo in reasonable time. So if I stay down in the expo, what they actually did was extend the red line down. So I don't need to change lines, which is amazing, But if I stayed right up in downtown, it'd be like 45 minutes to an hour. Well, from the airport, it'd be about an hour. So from downtown, maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes. And you can definitely do that. But I was like, I'd like to be slightly closer, but still a little bit accessible for other areas. And if I go all the way down to the expo, it means I have to travel the whole way back up if I want to do anything else. And I was just like, I'm not sure about that. So I chose one a few stops down, nearer like the Mall of Emirates and stuff like that, because then it's only half an hour to the expo, but it's still only 15-20 minutes to anything else, which I'm really pleased about. I think it's a good compromise, because I don't mind doing half an hour, but if we were getting up towards a whole hour, I would have been a bit sad. Because everything's close enough, it shouldn't be that long. But I really like the fact that if I'm near the red line, I don't have to do changes to get to some of the major areas. There are a couple of other lines. There's a green one and I think a yellow one around the Palm, I believe. But I can get to most places, hop on, hop off. Because that's the thing, when you've got multiple lines, you might only be like a few stops away, but if you have to do a change, it adds time. And I'm glad to not do it. They have Knoll cards, which is a little bit like the Oyster cards you see in Britain, in London. And I believe you get like a Metro card in maybe New York as well. I feel like that's a thing. Is that a thing? I feel like that's a thing. So it's very similar. I can probably get one in the airport. I'm going to be taking it from the airport because I do live so close to the metro stop. There's no reason for me to get a cab or something, and it just avoids all the traffic, which is kind of cool. I'm arriving there at a not unreasonable time. I hate it when I arrive like middle of the night and then you have to worry about transport. Like it should all be quite easy for me, and I'm just really looking forward to it. It's an event that won't happen again in its current form, which is why I really like the idea of going. I had a friend, where was I working when she was in Korea? I feel like I was working in Japan when she was in Korea, but there might have been a crossover because she stayed in Korea for quite a long time. There may have been a crossover with my China time, but she went to an expo there. And it was smaller comparatively. The one in Dubai looks insane. I'm really looking for it. It feels a bit like Disneyland for adults. And I'm just really, really looking forward to it. So that's very exciting for me. I'm quite sad. This is one of my favorites of the multichromes. It's coming up super pink, but in real life it's green. It's like that shade. But then it's pink there because of the difference. But it was the one that crumbled while I was traveling and I was devastated. This is from Karla Cosmetics, which is a UK indie brand, and I really love their stuff. You guys might remember, again, if you follow me on Twitter, you might remember when I was raving about it when I got back to the UK, because I'd ordered some things and got them delivered to my dad's place, so they were waiting for me when I got back, and I just adored them. You probably can't easily see the multichrome here because I'm in quite bright lights, and it shows better in low light that moves around a lot and fluctuates, brings out different colours, but I just love them. So we're staying quite simple with this today because I will be taking this off quite soon. And the one great thing about multichromes is it's basically this one thing all over the lid. It doesn't require a lot of thought, and I just put a little bit in to blend up here, but I'm not going super heavy in any other direction. So yeah, I'm super excited. The restrictions for travel, there's no quarantine, knock wood, that doesn't change. There's no quarantine because I'm only there for a week. I wouldn't have time to quarantine. But with the current rules and with me being vaccinated and stuff, I just have to get a PCR test before I go, and then one before I come back, because one of the entry requirements for Saudi is to have one. I think it's no less than 72 hours. I don't think it's 48, but I'll have to check. Because I'm a legal resident of Saudi, I have my Igama, my residential permit. I was having trouble with that word then, sorry guys. There are slightly different rules than if I'm just traveling as a quote-unquote tourist, although I don't think have they reinstated the tourist visa yet? I feel like maybe not, but I could be wrong. But anyway, so there are slightly different rules. I don't think I can be bothered with liquid liner at the moment. I think I'm just going to screw it and put my mascara on. So it's not too much of a process. I'll have to find somewhere in Dubai, but that shouldn't be too hard, especially with the expo going on. They really seem to have planned a lot of things out. So I imagine usually there's a place in the airport, if nothing else, and that should be easily accessible. But if not, I'm sure there are clinics in the city that can help me out with that. So should be fairly easy. But if you've ever been to Dubai and you have a place or an experience you'd recommend, I would love to hear from you, because I've never actually been there before. I've been to the Dubai airport. You might remember that's the airport I came through when I returned to Saudi this time, but I've never actually been on land, as it were. I've only ever been in international ports. So it's going to be really exciting to see. It seems like a really well laid out city, really accessible, very traveller friendly. They've been very purposeful in how they've designed it for that. And I'm just excited. I'm excited that I get to see somewhere new. And it made me realize how much I kind of missed that, because things have been so difficult with COVID. And I realize in the grand scheme of things, being worried that, oh, I don't get to travel as much when I sit here in a foreign country doing my job is very low down on the list of worries. When there are people dealing with actual serious repercussions, like, hello, first world problems, I don't get to have as many holidays. But I have missed it. It is part of my life usually. And it's been odd to be so shut down and so locked down. And I know that's something everyone's had to go through. But it's going to be so nice just to be able to travel for fun, you know? And it's definitely something I've just missed. All right, I might just stick a little bit of blush so I don't look quite so dead. I've got a new order coming from Beauty Bay. I haven't actually tried ordering things from them from here yet. I've heard their international shipping is very good, but I'm noticing with this, I had a 3 blush set, and this was a holiday special from Tarte a couple of years ago now, and I'm noticing that with some of my makeup that I'm losing pigmentation in some of it, and I think I'm gonna have to do a sort out soon. I actually filmed it and then never ended up making a video about it. Sorry guys if you like the makeup content, but I ended up doing a declutter when I got back from Saudi of my collection, because a lot of it had been sitting here for 6 or 7 months, and makeup does expire, you know? Why am I putting this up on my eye? Let's calm down. Makeup does expire and it does need clearing out, so I'm not going to bother with highlighter, I don't think. So it was time to kind of take a look at it, and I think it's the same. I've got a blush palette coming, so if I like that, it's a Sigma blush palette, I might end up getting rid of those, just because I think they've come to the end of their lifetime, even though they were products I really, really loved. And I might look at whatever holiday specials come out and see if I want to add something else. But I really like them as products, so, you know, I'm not sure. But I need to clear some things out. I've got some little eyeshadow palettes that just don't have the kind of pigment they used to have, and I've loved them, but it's time for them to go. I think they're just near kind of their expiration date, I would imagine. And I just haven't wanted to release them. But I've got some new things coming from Beauty Bay. I ordered some lipstick sets. Lipstick, when I say set, I ordered the liners, the lipstick. Did I order gloss? Maybe didn't order gloss. I ordered 2 eyeshadow palettes, the Wilderness palette and the Age of Opulence palette. I've got a feeling the Age of Opulence is going to be a little bit too dark for me because I'm this colour, but because it doesn't seem to have a ton in the way of transitions for lighter skin tones. But it's a very pretty palette. It was on sale, both of them were on sale actually, and I was doing an order anyway, so I just chucked it in. It's very affordable, so it's worth a try, you know. But I'm really looking forward to those coming in. I might end up doing a video on them possibly. And yeah, I'm just excited. So I had cheeks, I had lips, I had a couple of eyeshadow palettes. Did I buy anything else? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna go get my Chantel React filmed. Like I said, it's the pumpkin carving one, so we'll get that done. I think I just heard the alert that it's finished exporting. Remember, if you have any suggestions of things to do, to see, to try for Dubai, if you've been there, if you've got any recommendations, I would love to hear them. Please put them down below and I will check out the information, because I'd love to start planning. I don't really work by itinerary, But with me kind of blocking out days for Expo, I just need to block out, okay, which days am I in which part of the city. So it's nice to make a list of kind of the things I want to do, and then I can figure it out. Thank you so much for your help if you end up commenting for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.